Hi guys, and welcome to the Sunderland vs Burnley match review. So Sunderland did get beat by 4-2 against Burnley at the stage of the night after taking a 2-goal lead at half-time, which is the most frustrating thing. Now, this is something I want to get into before I do kind of hit the match review a little bit. So, going into the game, of course, if you guys looked at my preview to the game, I said that I don't expect us to win. I expect a Burnley win. You know, it was almost, for a lot of people I've seen, in their opinions anyway, yesterday's game against Burnley was a bit of a free hit because no one particularly expected to win, if that makes sense. It doesn't mean we want to lose as such, but, you know, it was a bit of a free hit. I kind of get that. I went in with the attitude of Burnley going to be too strong for us. You know, they were a Premier League side last year. They're going to be there or thereabouts come the end of the season. But that doesn't mean that we can't be annoyed and fans can't be frustrated when we take a 2-goal lead at home and not only lose that lead, but concede 4 goals in 45 minutes. Do you know what I mean? So the thing that has frustrated me is online, on Twitter as such, and social media. I mean, this is my Twitter anyway, if for those of you who do want to follow me, because sometimes I can get quite mouthy on there. But the thing that just frustrates me is when anyone showed any kind of emotion or annoyance at that, what happened yesterday, it was getting met with people saying like, you need to be realistic, or Burnley were only a Premier League side last year. You know, we were in League One for 4 years, which is a point that I've made, but you know, you can still show annoyance because that isn't good enough. You know, we're annoyed because yes, Burnley are such a good club, they're such a good side, so we're going to be annoyed that we've thrown that chance down the drain after being 2 goals up. We're going to be annoyed. Do you know what I mean? So people get told to sort of pipe down or quiet or, you know, be grateful for where we are. You know, when that 4th goal hits the back of the net for Burnley, I'm not going to be sat there thinking, oh, I'm very grateful for where we are. Do you know, that's just weird. That isn't normal. Do you know what I mean? When people do go to the extreme, I get it. When they say, you know, everyone has their opinion, of course, but when people do go to the extreme saying, oh, Speakman's this and Speakman's that every time we concede a goal or we lose, or, you know, Mowbray out, I've seen a few Mowbray outs already. I think that is a bit extreme and I understand that. But when people are saying that A, B and C isn't good enough, because it wasn't good enough at points yesterday, particularly in that second half where we just fell to pieces, you know, it's not fair to just say you need to be realistic or be grateful for where you are. That's bollocks. That's not football. I'm going to show me emotions. I'm not going to hide my emotions because other people want me to be realistic. Do you know what I mean? It'd be the same if we played Manchester City and we're 2-0 at half time and we got beat 4-2. I'd be pissed off then. Of course you would. You know, if it was just a case of, you know, Burnley beat us a couple of goals to nil, which they expected anyway, to be like, right, okay, fair enough. But to be 2-0 up at half time, concede 4 in 45 minutes, you're going to be pissed off. Anyone who's got a smile on their face saying, I'm happy to be here at the end of the day, that's not natural. In fact, it's fucking weird. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I just wanted to get that rant out of the way because, yeah, being told to be realistic after being pissed off with that, it's a strange one for me. But either way, so getting into the review, so we kick off the game. And that first half, I think, were absolutely excellent. We had a couple of changes. Troy Hume started as well over, of course, like Gooch. It still isn't back. And Patrick Robertson picked up a knock in training, apparently. And Diallo started as well. Ahmed Diallo, he started up top and all. Now, getting into the game, in the first half, I thought we were outstanding. And this is probably what frustrates me more so when we did collapse as we did in the second half. The first half were outstanding. You know, you had the likes of, you know, Troy Hume. You know, I think he didn't have a great second half, which we'll get on to. But the first half, he was excellent. He was very intelligent with his play. He was sort of way beyond his years at times. So he was, you know, shielding the ball, winning little cheeky free kicks here and there, nicking the ball, interceptions. He was excellent. And then starting off attacks, he was fantastic in that sense. O'Nien had an absolute stormer in that first half. You know, Barnes, who's known for being a bit, you know, physical, bit of a nightmare to deal with. O'Nien had him in his back pocket, winning headers, a couple of crunching challenges, you know, letting him know he was there. Mostly cleanly, but you know, but good interceptions and just things like that. You know, everything. We were very, very solid at the back. We weren't allowing them anything. We restricted them to a couple of long-range efforts, and that was it. And going forward, we looked fantastic. Early doors, you know, we're breaking down the left-hand side. Jacques, as we know, cuts in from left to right. Diallo finds himself in acres of space on the right-hand side of the box. Played over to him, and he just tucks it away. He passes it into that bottom right-hand corner, sending the keeper the wrong way. 1-0. Fantastic. Absolutely thoroughly deserved. Now, we don't stop there. We keep on going. And it's Embleton on the right-hand side. He chases a loose ball. Embleton, again, I think he was brilliant in that first half. A lot of players were. Dan Neil as well. Well, most players were. They all played the role. the right-hand side. Embleton chases this left ball, keeps in, shifts it onto his left foot, and he dinks it in from the right-hand side on his left foot. And it's a brilliant ball, and really dangerous ball in there. The Burnley defender can only head it into the air, so it's a bit of a loose ball still. And it falls to Dhannoo on the left-hand side of the box. And he drifts, absolutely smashes it into the bottom left-hand corner at the near post with his left foot, and he just drifts into that near corner to make it 2-0. Thoroughly deserved, and we managed to sort of control it, and everything they tried to throw at us, we dealt with fantastically. Then the second half comes. Now, this isn't me saying Tony Mowbray's, like what is his half-time team sort of type thing. It is more so just me saying the chalk and cheese difference is ridiculous from the first and the second half. Now, that could be purely because of the quality Burnley have, and Vincent Kompany is shown his quality as well there, because he changed up, he changed their system. Their wingers were now pushed higher and pushed wider, and it stretched us. His substitutes, Benson come on, he changed the game for me, excellent. And then this is where it all started to go downhill. But this was the frustrating thing for me, because we did not adapt to it at all. We conceded the first goal from a set piece, and that's what they started to sort of utilise, our lack of height at the back. Set piece comes in, they win the first header, headed back across goal, on the second header it's nodded in to make it 2-1. At this point for me, you could see we were shaky at the back. We were very, very shaky, and that's when I think we should have brought the likes of maybe Bailey Wright on. Do you know what I mean? I think that's when that should have happened, because what Tony Mowbray, I can praise him, and this isn't me saying Tony Mowbray out, but what he does generally do, and he's got himself into a bit of a routine of when it hits the hour mark, or the 60th minute, 65th minute, he'll just chuck the kids on, regardless of the situation. It's all well and good getting a bit of energy and getting a bit of pace and a bit of, some fresh legs on there, but that just seems to be his thing at the minute. There doesn't seem to be really any sort of tactical now. It's throw all the kids on. Do you know what I mean? I feel like a lot of youngsters should have probably arguably started today, given the poor performance against Blackburn, but he just seems to be sticking with almost the same team and then just chucking the kids on. And if that's all he's got, we're going to get figured out very quickly. But either way, I do think that's a Bailey Wright should have come on then, because it was blatantly obvious what they were doing, and they were trying to, optimise their own talents against the lack of ours, if that makes sense. And then the second one, to make it 2-2, it's a cross that comes in, cutting from right to left, and it's an outswinger, and it evades everyone, including Patterson, and finds the far corner, and it's 2-2. It's poor. We can't get out of our own half. We don't have an outlet. I know a lot of people are saying, well, that's what happens when you don't have a striker. We scored 2 in the first half without a striker. So we're conceding 4, and you're blaming it on that on the striker as well. I think that's a defensive issue. Do you know what I mean? I get that sometimes you need an outlet of a striker, but we scored 2 in the first half. So you can't blame, conceding 4. Sometimes you need to give the defence a bit of shit, because it was absolutely frigging appalling. That second half, the defence were absolutely all over the place. You need to give credit to Burnley, as I say. They're a good quality side, but my God, we sat back an extra yard or two. We gave them, in general, the attackers, an extra yard or two of space, allowed them so much time on the ball. We went from hitting them hard in every challenge and pressing them to being soft as shit. We were so soft. Do you know what I mean? And I think, for the third goal as well, Troy Hume, I praised him in the first half. I think he was excellent, given that he was kind of thrown in the deep end a little bit. He hadn't been playing for a long time. And against a team like Burnley, as I say, it was annoying to see the chalk and cheese performance from him as well, because in that third goal, should I say, they've got it on the left-hand side. He goes in for the challenge. Well, I say he goes in for the challenge. He ducks out the challenge. He almost sticks a leg in and thinks, oh shit, no, actually I'm not going to go for that. And it allows them to break, and it gives them the space, and they manage to double up on the left-hand side. Eventually he cut in from left to right, and my God, it is one hell of a finish, it has to be said. Pato has no chance. It's another screamer, We had Brereton Diaz who scored that screamer the other day, and now it's what's his name again? Zorori? I can't remember his name. I could be right. Is it Zorori? I'm pretty sure it is. Could be wrong here, bear with me. Yeah, Rory. he scored the goal. Excellent finish. Left to right, and he bent it into the far corner. Brilliant finish. But still, the defending was piss poor leading up to it. And then, we started throwing the kids on and stuff. And I think, after, I think it was 2-1. It's not that we didn't have absolutely nothing. I won't lie and say we had absolutely nothing. But I think when it was 2-1, we did have the sort of one chance where we did drive forward. Dan Neil was driving forward. It was almost like 3-on-3 at the back for Burnley. But Burnley's 3 at the back were kind of all shuffled onto one side. Dan Neil was driving down the centre. He could have given it to Clark. Oh, I think Serkey was out on the outside and he should have passed it. But he's gone for goal himself and it's been easily blocked. Little chances like that, he should have just given the ball. But then, of course, I can't blame the whole thing on Daniel. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying we did make the odd half chance, but we sat back after that, allowed them to dominate and press. And the fourth goal was just ridiculous. We're pissing around with it at the back at a time. We really shouldn't be. We lose the ball, everyone kind of gives up, and they go and score to make it 4-2. So, yeah, very, very frustrating, very, very frustrating, and it was just a pure collapse in that second half. Again, I will give credit to Burnley and to Vincent Kompany. They changed their system and we failed to adapt to it. In fact, we didn't adapt to anything. We didn't change anything. We just did the same thing of chucking the youngsters on the 60th minute, when before that things should have been changed and they weren't. And we were made to pay for it. As I said in the beginning of this video, if we did go and lose by a couple of goals and Burnley were better than us, hands up, we have just come up from League One. I don't expect us to be beating teams like this necessarily. But it just frustrates me when you've got that first half, that level of first half performance, that intensity in that first half, to be 2 goals up at home, then in the second half to concede 4 and go out on such a whimper. It really infuriates me. It really, really infuriates me. And yes, it's all well and good saying we need a striker, and we do need a striker. The likes of, to lose the likes of Ross Stewart, who's 6'2", 6'3", Ellis Sims is a big brute as well. To have that outlet to just hoof the ball away when teams like Burnley, they do put us on the back foot, and we are kind of in a cage and we're pushed all the way back. When we're trying to hoof the ball away, and sometimes you do need to go route one. To have the likes of Sims or Stewart up there for it to stick onto, so to relieve the pressure for a while, or to win free kicks. Yeah, we need that. We do need that, and we missed that. But it's still frustrating, nevertheless, when this kind of shit happens. And I do think it was probably preventable. The first couple of goals that they scored to make 2-1 and 2-2, it was just shite defending. Absolutely shite defending. The other two, it is what it is. But, frustrating. Very, very frustrating. But hopefully we can, get a good week on the training ground now, get ourselves back together. And now Sims is training now, so maybe we could see him next week. I'm not too sure, even not on the bench for a bit. But I think there's enough. Without the striker, I keep saying it, without the striker, I think there's enough there. And we're showing enough, But it's going to be a really difficult game again next weekend, Luton. Very, very difficult. But we'll see how it goes. It's a frustrating one, but we move. It has, all in all, been a good start to the season. I keep saying this. And that's when my sort of argument for the whole realistic thing is, it isn't a bad start to the season. I would have taken that. But that's not to say we can't be annoyed when we concede 4 in one half of football. Do you know what I mean? You need to find that balance there. But either way, so that is it, guys. My man of that match for me, I think, first off, I think Luke O'Neill was outstanding against Barnes. I think absolutely outstanding. Dan Neil as well. Second off, I can't really pick anyone here, if I'm completely honest. I think we were piss poor at times, for the majority. But first off, I'll probably give it to Luke O'Neill for me. I think he was great in the first half. You could argue Dan Neil, like I say, because he scored, but I think Luke was just really, really good. It kind of went unnoticed how good he was against Barnes, who can be a tricky customer. But yeah, frustrating. We move on. We're not going to stick ourselves, and get our heads down too much. It is worrying that our form at home isn't fantastic, but hopefully that can change very, very soon. But let me know in the comments down below, who's your man of the match? What do you think of the game in general? And what is your view on the whole, be realistic type thing? I get the whole realism, but are you not annoyed that we did go 2 goals up against a team like Burnley and then to collapse in the way we did? Is that not annoying, or am I just thinking too much into this? But anyway, guys, let me know what you think about the game in general down below. But if you enjoyed, hit the like button for me. It's always so appreciated. Subscribe if you are new to the channel to become a fully fledged member of the Sarny Army. But for now, take care and stay jamming.